If you've been scrolling through a sea of massage chairs, reading endless specs, and still feel stuck wondering which one actually makes sense for your home, this review is going to clear that up. I know the hesitation. You're weighing the idea of turning a corner of your living room into a personal spa against the risk of ending up with a piece of furniture that looks impressive but never lives up to the hype. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. Let's talk about the Synca Wellness Kurodo. It's marketed as an executive-level commercial 4D deep tissue zero-gravity massage chair, and that title alone suggests it's aiming for a mix of professional spa quality and at-home convenience. What people really care about, though, are three things: how it feels after a week of use, whether it saves you the cost and time of regular spa visits, and if it fits into the everyday flow of a house without becoming a noisy, space-eating eyesore. First off, the core of the Kurodo's promise lies in its 4D massage robot and 28 compression cells. In plain language, that means the chair can adjust not just the intensity, but also the direction of the rollers, mimicking a therapist's hands that move up and down, side to side, and even twist. For anyone who has tried simpler 2D chairs and found the motion too linear, this added dimensionality can feel like a genuine upgrade. In practice, I've seen users describe the experience as the rollers seem to find the knots on their own, which is exactly the kind of responsive feeling you want when you're trying to unwind after a long day at a desk. Now, let's break down who should actually consider buying this. If you spend a lot of time sitting, think remote workers, gamers, or anyone with a sedentary lifestyle, the deep tissue function can be a real game changer. The chair's zero-gravity positioning tilts you back so that your spine is in a neutral angle, relieving pressure on the lumbar region. For people who already pay for regular massages or physical therapy, the Kurodo can potentially replace a few of those appointments each month. The commercial-grade label isn't just marketing fluff. The components are made in Japan, a reputation that usually translates into tighter tolerances and longer-lasting motors. That matters if you're planning to use the chair daily rather than as an occasional treat. On the flip side, if you're the type who only needs a quick shoulder rub once a week, or you're on a tight budget, this chair might feel over-engineered. The price point sits in the higher end of the market, and while the 4D technology and zero-gravity features sound luxurious, you'll only reap the full benefits if you actually spend the time to explore the different massage programs. Casual users who simply want a light vibration could be better off with a more modest model that costs a fraction of the price. A practical strength of the Kurodo is how it handles noise. You'll find many high-end chairs that sound like a small airplane taking off each time the rollers engage. The Kurodo's motor system is surprisingly quiet. You can have a conversation or watch a movie with the chair running, and the background hum stays well below the level that would distract you. This matters not just for entertainment, but also for shared living spaces, where a noisy machine can become a nuisance for roommates or family members. Another everyday factor is the footprint. The chair measures about the size of a standard recliner, but the zero-gravity recline adds a little extra height when fully extended. It fits into a corner without needing a special wall reinforcement, and the base is stable enough that you won't find it wobbling as you shift your weight. The only downside here is the need for a power outlet within a few feet, which means you'll have to plan the placement carefully during the initial setup. Speaking of setup, the control panel is intuitive. There's a simple remote with a touch screen that walks you through each program, and you can adjust intensity by region: shoulders, lower back, thighs without digging through menus. For people who aren't tech-savvy, the learning curve is basically a single session of reading the quick start guide. Some first-time owners might initially feel overwhelmed by the number of options, but the default auto mode does a solid job of delivering a balanced experience if you just press start and relax. One real-world use case that illustrates the chair's practicality is a night shift nurse who needs a quick way to decompress before heading home. She reported using the deep tissue program for 10 minutes right after a 12-hour shift, focusing on her lower back and shoulders. The result? A noticeable reduction in muscle tension that allowed her to transition from the hectic hospital environment to a restful evening at home without needing a separate massage appointment. Conversely, a college student who bought the chair on the assumption it would serve as a gaming throne found the deep tissue setting a bit too intense for long gaming sessions. The chair does excel at therapeutic work, but for the